A key part of the book revolves around the importance of clarity. Shelton argues that you can't protect your peace if you don't first define what peace means to you. He encourages the reader to examine what steals their joy, what drains their energy, and what triggers anxiety. Through personal reflection and hard-earned wisdom, he teaches that the first step toward peace is awareness. You can't guard what you haven't named. Throughout the book, Shelton returns to the idea of emotional boundaries, not just in relationships, but in the narratives we allow into our minds. He critiques the way social media can quietly erode our self-worth, comparing ourselves to others' curated success. He writes about the pressure to perform, to be liked, to constantly prove your value. And then he dismantles that pressure with a simple, liberating truth: you are enough even when you're invisible to others. One of the most powerful threads in the book is Shelton's insistence that healing requires solitude. He tells stories of walking away from environments that once defined him, not out of spite, but out of necessity. Sometimes protecting your peace means being alone. Not lonely. Alone with your thoughts, your values, your own unfiltered self. He speaks about how terrifying that silence can be, but also how essential it is to hear your own voice again after years of noise. Shelton's relationship with faith also plays a quiet but steady role in the narrative. While not preachy, he does ground his peace in something greater than himself. For him, spiritual connection is both anchor and compass. He often speaks to the reader as though he's reminding them of a truth they already know but forgot, something like, "You were not created to be constantly anxious, constantly chasing approval, constantly depleted." There's a chapter where he talks about betrayal, specifically, what happens when people you trusted take advantage of your kindness. His words are not vengeful, they're cleansing. He acknowledges how easy it is to become hardened by betrayal. But he urges the reader not to let hurt turn them into someone they're not. Instead, he frames betrayal as a painful teacher, one that shows you where the cracks are in your boundaries and where growth can begin. One of the most actionable parts of the book is when Shelton speaks about energy management. He invites readers to do a personal audit. Where is your energy going? Who's draining you, and who's refilling you? What habits are stealing your focus? It's not about hustling harder. It's about aligning your life so that peace is built into your daily rhythm. His message is simple but often overlooked: you have the right to curate your life around what serves your well-being. The book also delves into how to handle criticism and judgment, especially when you start changing your life. Shelton anticipates the backlash that comes with setting boundaries, especially if you've been the yes person for too long. He walks the reader through the discomfort of being misunderstood, and offers both mindset shifts and emotional practices to stay grounded. One line sticks out: you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. In many ways, the book is about reclaiming sovereignty over your own narrative. Shelton teaches that peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of alignment. When your life reflects your values, when your relationships are built on mutual respect, and when your inner world isn't ruled by chaos, you are at peace, even in a storm. The challenge is to stay committed to that peace even when the world around you pulls you in every direction. Shelton ends the book not with fanfare, but with a quiet, steady encouragement. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You don't need to be perfect at protecting your peace. You just need to begin. Each day is a chance to show up for yourself in a deeper, more honest way. To say no when you mean it. To walk away when staying would cost your soul. To choose peace, even when it's inconvenient or misunderstood. In the end, Protect Your Peace is more than a self-help book, it's a personal revolution. Through honest storytelling, practical wisdom, and fierce compassion, Trent Shelton gives readers permission to stop surviving and start living from a place of grounded power. Peace is not something you stumble into. It's something you fight for, protect fiercely, and build day by day. And if you're willing to do that work, this book will walk beside you like a loyal, unflinching friend. Protect Your Peace: 9 Unapologetic Principles for Thriving in a Chaotic World by Trent Shelton is a bold and heartfelt call to reclaim control over your emotional and mental well-being in a world that often seems bent on robbing you of it. Shelton, a former NFL player turned motivational speaker, brings raw authenticity to every chapter, writing with the urgency of someone who's lived through betrayal, burnout, and the slow erosion of self-worth. This is not a book of polite self-help slogans, it's a manifesto for reclaiming your boundaries, your identity, and your peace. From the very beginning, Shelton's voice is both grounded and fierce. He doesn't sugarcoat the pain of being misunderstood, mistreated, or manipulated. But instead of dwelling in bitterness, he transforms his personal scars into a blueprint for resilience. The book opens with a simple truth: peace isn't passive. It's something you have to actively fight for, especially when your environment or relationships are chaotic. Shelton invites the reader to stop making peace a luxury, and start treating it like a necessity. What makes Shelton's storytelling so effective is that it's rooted in emotional clarity. He shares stories from his own life, including the aftermath of losing his football career, struggling with depression, and rebuilding his life as a speaker and father. Each story is told without pretense. He's not trying to impress the reader, he's trying to reach them. That sincerity is felt deeply, especially when he talks about the moments where he had to choose himself, even when others accused him of being selfish. Central to the book is the idea that protecting your peace often means disappointing others. Shelton doesn't flinch from this reality. He shares how painful it was to set boundaries with people he once loved, including friends and family. Yet, he insists that peace cannot coexist with chronic people-pleasing. If you are always prioritizing other people's comfort over your own truth, you will lose yourself, and with that, any chance at true peace. Shelton's writing is infused with a coach-like energy. He pushes the reader to take ownership of their life, using firm but compassionate language. He challenges excuses without dismissing pain. When he speaks about trauma, betrayal, or burnout, it's with the understanding that these experiences shape us, but they do not have to define us. His goal is not to fix the reader's problems but to equip them with the mindset and courage to face them.